Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Parleh Show, powered by Bet99. I'm Rob Conway in Toronto. We got a really big show for you today. Of course, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals are underway. The Toronto Blue Jays and Alek Manoah, big decision coming up as Manoah continues to struggle. And we have some breaking news on the PGA Tour and Liv, and we'll get to that announcement. But first, joining me, my co-host, number one here is Albert Vartanian in studio with me in Toronto. Albert, how you doing, my man?
Good, man. So much going on.
So much going on.
This situation in the golf world is huge.
It is a very, very, very big situation in the golf world. Extremely exciting premise of what might be able to come.
Yep.
And to help us break it all down, of course, my other co-host. He's in Ottawa. It is Matthew Barnaby, former NHLer and betting guru.
Yeah, crazy day. Hey, guys. It was going to be crazy anyways with the RBC Open in Canada and NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals. Just so much going on. But we wake up to the news on Twitter that Liv and the PGA are now combining forces with the DP World Tour. I mean, we found out on Twitter, but imagine being Colin Morikawa and Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy also finding out on Twitter.
I think Tiger and Rory definitely already knew. They must have been. Tiger would have had to have been within on this decision.
Apparently, there's going to be a players-only meeting today at Oakdale. I think at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So it'll be interesting to hear what comes out of there. But you mentioned like Morikawa. I'm going through some of their tweets.
Yeah.
Morikawa was like, I love finding out the morning news on Twitter. Then you have Phil Mickelson. Awesome news today. Then you have Mackenzie Hughes. Nothing like finding out through Twitter that we're merging with a tour that we said we'd never do that with. This is huge. Imagine being one of these PGA Tour players, turning down $100 million only for the tour to go out and merge with that same league.
You got to be a little bit upset, hey, Barney, if you're John Rahm, who got offered $400 million or some stupid amount of money. And he was like, look, I want my legacy. What's 400? What's another 400? Blah, 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 which is still insane to me, but nonetheless. and now it's like, sorry about that, guys. The tour that we said we hated and we never were going to be with, we're going to figure it out.
Tiger turning down $600 or $700 million.
I know.
Right,
and not that he ever is going to need the money, but I don't know, $600 to $700 million more is better than not having it in there for a tour that now you are in bed with, and we know where the money is coming from. Listen, I understand why a lot of players didn't go. I understand why players did go, and we talked about it ad nauseum probably a year ago.
Yeah,
there's no way I turned down that kind of money. There was no way they were ever not going to be playing in the majors. That's a separate entity all by themselves. They couldn't play on the PGA Tour. All right. Most of these guys don't want to play on the PGA Tour for the most part. They just care about majors, at least the big players in the game. So I didn't see this coming, but wow, what a change of events. And Jay Monahan is going to take a lot of heat for this one.
Well, AV, we were sitting in the room there just before the show, and you've had on repeat, not on purpose. Him saying, what was it exactly?
Something about
have you ever had to apologize for being on the PGA Tour? And
exactly.
he was so
proud
of
they all took the
himself.
moral high road.
Yeah, that's
with
the
whole
thing.
Liv Golf Tour thing, and now you're going back the other way.
And
it's a horrible look.
And
I'm just curious to see how it all plays out. I'm reading now there could be fines for certain players who want to reapply to the PGA after this season.
Yeah,
what are those fines going to be? You know what I mean? Is it just a slap on the wrist? Probably.
I think that what pisses me off the most about the whole thing is because I was a PGA Tour guy, and I was lived. The reason why I was so not mad, I really didn't care, but like why I was like, you guys are one thing and this is the other, was because none of the players would just admit it was for the money, except Harold Varner III. And if they had, I really wouldn't care for sure. And the PGA Tour saying, it's for the money, you guys are blah, blah, blah. This is, apologizing and referencing all these things about the Saudi government and all that stuff. And then they just turn on it like nothing. Like, oh yeah, that never happened. That's what bothers me about all this.
The only thing that matters is money, right?
Yeah.
If the Saudi government offered me $100 million tomorrow to go do a betting show in Saudi Arabia, bye guys, I'm gone. I'll come on once a year if you accept me, and I'll pay your $100,000 fine. But listen, it's just business.
Yeah,
it's business, and it wasn't even business anymore. It was ludicrous the money that they were throwing at these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're worth maybe $3 million. We'll give you $120 million. That's not a business decision. That's a changing your way of life decision.
Yeah. Yeah, and exactly right. Now these guys like Bryson and Phil, DJ, They got $100 to $200 million, missed a year's worth of PGA Tour golf, and now they're right back to square one with a heck of a lot more money in their pockets.
Look at
so good on
Koepka,
them.
right? He gets paid huge, wins a major,
Yeah,
and now he's back on tour.
Yeah.
Some of these PGA Tour guys are going to be upset about that, obviously.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see what comes out of this players only meeting. What's going to be said?
Yeah, in all honesty, I'm actually happy that this happened, because the one thing that I've learned over the last couple of majors is that I think there would have been a lot of fun, although part of it would have been because they hated each other, and now they apparently don't, was I would love to see like a Ryder Cup Liv versus PGA Tour. Now, that's got to happen now, right?
Yeah.
And maybe even mix in the DP World Tour too if you want. I don't know. And
I think that was a big sticking point too. I think the Ryder Cup, you need to have the guys from the Liv Golf Tour on each side, the Europeans or North Americans, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Brandel Chambly's head's exploded this morning.
Oh, wow. Yeah, listen, Phil Mickelson looked like an idiot, and I'm not a big Phil Mickelson fan, but this just proves that the PGA really does what they want to do. Mm-hmm. No, we're not doing it now. Oh, now they throw the money at us. Okay, we'll do it. We'll combine forces.
I don't think it's not necessarily, there's a lot of negative to this, obviously, for the PGA Tour in terms of the players not being able to get paid like we touched on, but I actually think it's pretty good for golf.
I think it's good for
golf. You get all the best players back together again.
Absolutely.
And there's still going to be a rivalry there. These players are going to feel some type of way, some animosity towards some of the guys who got paid and now they're coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just the way things work.
I think you're going to find there's a lot of animosity from the guys who didn't go and didn't take the money. And now these guys are all waltzing. It's just so fun. I know, Barney, you don't watch it, but it just reminds me so much of the WWF and WCW wars.
It is,
and then the NWO and all that stupidity. And like those guys took all the money from WCW and eventually they all came back.
It's like Vince McMahon buying WCW and trying to put it together and then burying them on his own show.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's almost like a fake,
It doesn't seem real. This whole situation.
It really doesn't.
Well, the money doesn't sound real.
Man, do I get quiet when we talk wrestling, don't
I? yeah, for sure. 100%. All right. Well, that's enough of that. Let's try and get into a little bit. Actually, I wanted, you know what? We'll save that for the end of the show. We'll save, Barney, your story from Moncton, because I heard a bit of it about on Twitter, one of your teammates getting into a little bit of trouble. But
by the way, the only reason I'm sitting over here is because you bragged last week, and I just wanted to show you my hole-in-one from Greyhawk in Arizona.
Well, now
I love that.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And we're not. You said I'm not allowed to hear the story.
Well, I've heard it like 7 million times. Even when people like randomly just say the word "one," all of a sudden the hole-in-one story comes out.
It's a hole-in-one. How do you ever stop talking about a hole-in-one? I want to hear it, Barney.
Well, because I have two. So
right.
Okay. Yeah, the other flag isn't here. The other one, the first one I had with my son on the 9th hole, and it literally hit the pin. And he's like, Dad, I think it hit the pin. I made a good sound. It was like 196 yards. I did not hit a 4-iron like Rob would, or 5. Actually, he probably hit a 6-iron that far. It was a rescue club. And he went up and I said, if it's in or close, give me a dance. And he did the worm across. This one was at our rookie party in Arizona when I was with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I was playing with Dennis Bonvie and a couple other guys. And it was a horrible shot. We looked for the ball for 25 minutes. I thought it was over the green. I thought it was in the bunker, short. And literally we looked around and I went to pull the flags. I dropped the ball, going to hit another one. And I went to pull the flag and the ball was in there. Now I thought the guys were playing a joke on me, and at dinner that night, they were going to come through and tell me that it was just a fake. So I wasn't buying into it all that much all day long, because again, 25 minutes, we were looking for the ball, but we're 20 years later. No one said a word. So I think I'm safe. I just put it up. So
you're absolutely safe. See, look, Bobby over here. He's sleeping.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah.
I've heard that story before. Right,
all right, Barney. Congratulations on your hole-in-ones. We're very excited. I've never even been in a group that's gotten hole-in-one. Like I've never been anywhere near one. One time I was like working on a golf course, cutting a green, a couple greens over. Someone got one, and I walked over it, and they're like, "Yeah, hole-in-one." Whatever.
I've been in a group with 2 others too.
Yeah, you're a bit of a hole-in-one guru. You're just all over the place. But I played with you, and we haven't got one yet. But we will.
Soon.
Yeah, we'll be playing again together.
Yeah.
Soon. But you know what? Let's take a quick break. We got into Liv there. It was breaking news.
Yeah.
We got the NHL. We got the NBA. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the RBC Canadian Open and the Toronto Blue Jays, Alec Manoah's struggles. Coming up on the Parleh Show, when we come back, we will talk NHL. We have the Vegas Golden Knights up 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Final.